The people who typically can't make it in Africa are the people who haven't planned and they don't have anything to offer here. Wherever you were in America, it doesn't matter. Or in London. You're somewhere else new. You don't know anything. Don't think whatever you learned before it matters here. It don't. You have to relearn everything. Okay? And you have to be an idiot now. Like you don't know nothing. You're in a new place. So you're gonna be building your reputation from scratch. This is a 5 to 10 year plan if you've never been here. Can you put 10 years of your life doing this? It'll change your life forever if you can. But can you? If you're not willing to do it, don't start anything here. If you can't commit 10 to 15 years of your life doing it. 5 minimum.
Why African Americans are now leaving Africa or Ghana to be exact. Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Maya and this is the REPAT podcast.
Yes, people, DJ Maintain, DJ and producer, living in Kampala now for 5 years.
O'Shea Duke Jackson, 88th generation African American, living in Kampala.
Okay, guys, watch this clip with us and react to it with us.
Here are the challenges that these individuals found when they got to Ghana. First, the cost of living. The cost of living in a different country, never mind Ghana, when you move with very limited resources, as these particular ones have done, isn't going to sustain you month over month, year after year in a country when you don't have a steady stream of income. When I mean a steady stream of income, I'm talking about a W-2 coming through. If you move to a different country, and the idea that you're going to move to a country and start a business, which is the rhetoric you're hearing from a lot of these people, especially on the internet, is ridiculous and ludicrous. Any serious-minded person moving to a different country will need to have a steady stream of income to be to sustain in that country. To have incomes that are variable, and which is what the income they were making from whatever venture online, it's a variable income. That means it's not a steady monthly income that you were going to know at the end of the month. This is what I'm going to bring in every month. It's variable. So it's based on how well either your videos did on YouTube or your Instagram page or whatever other online venture that was. Those are variable income. They're not fixed. Okay. Now, when they got to Ghana, they undoubtedly found that the cost of living in Ghana was very high, especially in Accra, was very, very high. But not only that, even those that lived in other cities in Ghana realized quickly that when they pay for rent, when they pay for electricity, when they pay for trash, for transportation, for food, the everyday items we pay for, quickly ate through their limited funds that they were having in Ghana. And they quickly found that they weren't bringing in enough money from whatever the online ventures to really sustain economically that. So that was a problem for these individuals there.
Okay.
Shout out to Corporate Junkie for that.
Yeah. Very great
Cobra
video.
Junkie. Big up.
It's an
Very good
amazing video.
Say Cobra Junkie. As
Corporate.
Corporate Junkie.
Corporate Junkie.
He
It's an
appears to
accent.
be,
Corporate.
I've never
Corporate
watched
Junkie.
any of his other videos, but it appears that he's a Nigerian that lives in America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even I thought he was Ghanaian. He has the accent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he's a Nigerian, I believe.
But yeah,
I
guys.
think Nigerian or Ghanaian, but I think, I'm pretty
Correct
sure
us
he's
if
Nigerian.
we're wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, Osho, what do you think? Let's start with you actually.
So this is a very well thought out video. It's better than what I could have, from what I've seen in the video, could express. But let me kind of catch up the whole idea of what's Ghana's president's name? Nene Akufo. Akufo. So Akufo's father was a part of the original Big Six in Ghana. Ghana has had a lot of economic problems. This is not much different than most sub-Saharan Africa. But if you remember Kwame Nkrumah, and that the link between Ghana and the United States is very substantial. And the fact that some of the earlier leaders, like Kwame Nkrumah, were educated at the HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. So Kwame Nkrumah had more of a militant, pro-black African-American mentality coming back to Ghana in comparison to like Julius Nyerere. I know I'm butchering his name, who was, educated in Scotland, things like that. Edinburgh, I believe. Yeah. So now that connection between Ghana and Black America has always been there. Mm-hmm. More or less in any other country. Although most of us come from Nigeria, even have that as his DNA, but we've had a better relationship with Ghana. So now Akufo becomes president in 2019 and the country is in shambles. Now, I'm talking about as far as what they owe the IMF and the World Bank. What did they come up with as a country? The year of what? Return. So then you started to see a bunch of these influencers coming out, go to Ghana. Boyce Watkins, Oprah Winfrey, T.I., all of these big time people saying, Ghana, come back to Ghana, year of return. Year of return was a success. So now you started seeing other countries follow suit. Liberia has a year of return now. Sierra Leone gives you DNA by citizenship, things like that. So this brother here, Corporate Junkie, breaks down the mistakes that Ghana made because they couldn't take out any more money. They needed cash coming in. So what they felt was, if we tell Black people to come back to Ghana, we're going to get these people who will come back, like Oprah Winfrey, your job creators, and then your professional skill positions. So these are the first two classes of people. Your big time people, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and then secondarily, your medical doctors, your attorneys. This is who we want to come back to Ghana. But it was a mistake because Oprah Winfrey is not going to leave what she's doing in the United States to come to Ghana. Right. Even Steve Harvey, who went to do Family Feud in South Africa, he did that, but Steve Harvey is an American. I don't care what he says about how much he loves Africa. He's not moving there. Okay? Yeah. So when Ghana initially thought that, they got the last class of people that came to Africa, which were more or less the people who have been out of the job market and the unskilled from the Black community. This is not all of them, but that's the people who were struggling there. So these people, I hate to say it, some of the YouTubers, social media influencers, people who didn't have predictable income came into Ghana. And some of these people came with not a lot of funding. They just moved. And then what they figured out upon coming is how expensive Ghana was, right? But not only did they understand how expensive it was, because they didn't have steady income, nor did they have the skills. Mm-hmm. They found out a cultural shock. They found out they had problems with infrastructure, things that we've talked about. Mm-hmm. That dear diaspora, let's talk about the Ugandan roads here, et cetera, right? And then they found out that a lot of services that they're used to getting is not there in Ghana. So now these people now are leaving, and some of them are engaging, not all of them, in what we consider land scams. Some of the best land scams in Africa are not just by Africans themselves. We have people from our community who are selling land and they're out of desperation and they can't survive there. So now what's happening is that you have this, and I see it here, the people who typically can't make it in Africa are the people who haven't planned and they don't have anything to offer here. So what happens when you want to come to Uganda? I started coming to Uganda in 2017. Mm-hmm. It took us, me, you, before I could even really stay here for that long, 3 years. Yeah. After making over $1 million myself personally in that time frame. I'm just gonna be honest. In that time frame, I still couldn't stay here. I was somewhere else. I wasn't even living here. But I had to leave and come back, 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 leave and come back. Setting up the systems, then leaving and coming back. So what do you expect for a person who don't have that money, don't have that cash flow, and don't have the infrastructure, and you think Africa is cheap? You feel like you're going to be the next big entrepreneur, and then you're seeing all these people saying, come back to Africa, come back here, you can live your life here, we're tired of the racism. It's really been a big ploy because you don't have any real infrastructure for the diaspora in most countries. There is no way to really bring people, number one, that have never lived in Uganda or Ghana. How do they come in and get acclimated? Yeah. Those systems are not there. Mm-hmm. Some people will make it, most won't, right? So you don't have those systems. And then you don't know what it takes to make it there culturally. You don't have no infrastructure, nothing like that. So these people who had risked it all are now going back to America. Yeah. And they'll probably be never coming back to Ghana again. Yeah. 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 That's just this whole thing. Sorry for being so long with it.
Oh, it's okay. I just want to chime in before we get to maintain. Yeah. Like you said, the year of return. I think what happened with the year of return was I feel like, you know, when influencers have a gig and then their job is to like push a certain gig and a certain hashtag, I feel like that's what happened. The year of return was, you know, developed and whatnot. And then all these celebrities and influencers were now saying, oh yeah, guys, Africa is the new thing. Africa is the new thing. You know what? Ghana is the new thing. You can buy land. You can do this. Yeah. So you had a lot of people relocating to Ghana and whatnot. But just to be more specific and speak for Uganda or Africa in general, because, you know, I think the bad side of the year of return is you got so many, YouTube people moving to Ghana. And why do I say that that's a bad side? It's because they go to Ghana and then I feel like they had no plan and then they're making money off the people by selling a dream. Because right? Okay. Because now they're making YouTube videos of what people should expect in Ghana, or they're selling courses, or they're selling trips and whatnot. That's not a stable source of income. Well, to some people, I think it's a stable source of income. But you can see that them moving, they didn't have a plan on how they were going to survive. They just got here and then said, you know what, let me make money off my people who will also move without a plan. Because you're selling a course and you're like, oh, how to survive in Ghana and whatnot. And I'm saying this for someone who also has an ebook out on how people can survive Uganda and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think,
you do?
Yeah. I think...
How much is it?
It's just $50. Just $50. But anyway,
okay.
Before we get off track, what I'm trying to say is most times when people relocate, for some people, I feel like from what I've seen, it's more emotional than it is logical. Because you thought, oh, you know what? I'm so tired of America. I'm tired of the gun violence and anything like that. So now I need to move to Africa. I'm done. I've had it. Yeah. You know, and they're just over it. So like now Africa is the next new thing. But you didn't plan for this thing. So you're like, oh, next month I'm moving to Africa and that's it. You get to the continent, it's not what you're expecting. The culture shocks, economical shocks, pothole shocks. There's every shock you can think of. And then you're not prepared for this. And like we're saying behind the scenes with Maintain's wife, she's giving us some tea. And she's telling us how some people relocate at once and then it's overwhelming for them and they end up leaving. Whereas the right way to do it is for you to keep coming. You go back, plan, see how things are moving, see how you can survive in this continent and whatnot, and then move.
Yes.
If that's your plan in the end. Honestly, to me, I feel like the year of return was just like an influencer gig thing. And then now people are just like so over it because people want to go with what's trending half the time. It's like, oh, this is the new hot thing. Moving to Africa is the new hot thing. Yeah. Being African now is fancy and it's trendy. So now everyone wants to get on that train and then it backfires backfires for them. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm close to living here now for 5 years. I want to speak on some of the success stories I've come across and why they're perceived as a success. But before I go into that, did you say you had an ebook?
I do.
For $50?
Guys, but I feel like everyone is so shocked. So I'm not
shocked. I'm just like, why haven't I heard about this before?
I have a consulting company.
I know that.
So if you are moving to Uganda, or if you want to tour to Uganda, I'm your person. Yeah. You reach out, you tell me what you need. I see if I can provide it. If I can't, I turn you down. If I can, I take you on as a client. Right. Shout out to my clients who are watching, by the way.
Shout out to Joni.
Give me a round of applause.
But what's this ebook about?
So it just has tips and contacts on how you can navigate Uganda. So I have like a whole list starting from visas, accommodation, places to visit, places to eat at, car hire services, and so much more, guys. So much.
Car hire. She's been doing all this behind.
20-page ebook.
Wow.
It's also on Amazon.
Empowerment, brother.
On Amazon.
The point is, reach out.
Brilliant. Yeah. So the success stories I'll just give a few pointers of success stories I've come across. So a lot of the friends I have here who have relocated have had friends here or friends wherever they're going on the continent. So they can visit them multiple times.
Yeah.
Get a feel for it, then make their own friends.
Yeah.
And the friends they make, they tell them straight up because they care for them what the pros and cons are for you moving here. So that's one thing I've come across and people have had success through that. Remote work. So it's because of COVID and people working from home, remote work is pushed more now. And so if you can find remote work, that means you can work wherever you like because as the word says, remote.
Right.
So I got a lot of friends here that are here on remote jobs. They probably did the Zoom call and interview in London or New York or Paris, but once they got the remote job, they were able to go wherever, right? So that's one way, another way of sustain yourself. Another one is after you've been around, you've been to your friends, you've got to lay the land, you've decided where you want to move to, you have your savings and a plan. So a lot of people I know, they want to open bars and restaurants here. They're very lucrative in Kampala. So they've found out how much it's going to take to renovate the building, what the rent is per month on that. They've figured it all out. They've come and dived straight into it. Yes, they've hit problems, of course, but they've had a plan. And the first year, you're never going to make profit. So don't be disheartened. You're probably just about breaking even, if that. But the year after, they've just gotten better and better and better and better. And then they've been able to open other branches of what they've decided to open, whether it be a bar or a restaurant. And lastly is actually trying to find work here. So say you may not have friends on the continent. You may not know where to start. So, looking at what your skill set is, look at whether your job has different branches on the continent, see if you can get a transfer like that. And I think you pick up a lot quicker when you're working somewhere. Because you have to travel to and from work. Then your lunch breaks, you're going out with the people you're working with. And they can show you around and things like that. So lastly, that is another one I've come across when I speak to my friends or people in passing. That's been very successful for people. So that's the successes I've come across.
Okay. Rachel?
It's pretty much what you people have shared, but also, guys, sometimes you're not, destined to make it in another country.
Rachel,
you're going to make it
what
in
happened to the
country.
positive energy?
No, I like it. This is a different spin. I love this.
But also, don't live off other people's experiences. You might be washing or shake, doing well in Uganda, thriving, and you think you're just going to come and make it here. First come, experience things on ground, test things on ground, and then decide if you want it here or some other country. It could not be Uganda like the people you watch on this podcast. Speaking of, we should start making these people pay to access this.
Patreon.
This is very valuable information.
Yes.
And it's first-hand information and experiences from everyone that's on this podcast. So consider it very, very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do your research. Some of you don't want to do research. You just want to, you've seen someone or you've talked to someone in Uganda and that's it. You want to do something. Some of you don't even come. You send money for someone to do the business. Come on. If people can take their relatives' money, how about you?
A stranger.
Yeah.
Right.
So also learn about the policies in the country you're interested in. What type of business do you want to do there? Does it have a chance to thrive there or not? What's the culture of the people like? Different things. Like just do thorough research. And also, if you can, come on ground, get in touch with some people who are maybe doing similar business or who might share valuable knowledge on what you want to do. And also source for the people who you think you want to employ, on ground. Don't rely so much on people doing things for you. Yes.
Yeah. I also think one of the main reasons some African Americans are leaving the continent is because they don't hold on for long. It's like you have one hiccup here and one hiccup there, and then you want to give up.
Yeah.
It's like, come, this is Africa. Middlemen exist. Scams exist. Like, people are out to, it's not vicious. People are not out to get you, but some bad things may happen to you. The service may not be the way you want it. So a few hiccups here and there stop some of you from staying for long. Because you may say, oh, I'm now planning on leaving the continent because of this and that. But the whole time, someone just said something to you or called you a mzungu on the road or stole some money from you. Well, stealing money is a very valid point to leave the country. But like, those are business losses at this point. You just have to be like, you know what? Africa is the motherland. I will thug this out. I will outlive whoever is trying to steal my money, and then let's see how we're gonna do that. I feel like you just need to like be strong and stay grounded in whatever it is you're doing. Because if you said you wanted to come and do a business, then that means there's something of value you want to add on the continent.
Yep.
So just be strong, okay? It gets better-ish.
Yep.
But it gets better.
No, I totally agree with you. It gets better, and you can't put a price on the peace of mind that you get when you succeed. As a black man, growing up in London, the Caribbean parents, big up my parents. Like when you get here and you start to make something of yourself, and you're not dealing with all the, the crap you dealt with. For me personally in London, and then you start making friends like Joe Anita, O'Shea, Rachel, Kuhani, and they're telling you, like, you're doing okay. You need to learn a little bit more local language, but you're doing okay.
Trying.
You know what I mean? That you can't put price on that.
Right.
So stick to it.
Yeah.
It's more than worth it.
Let me just say, one of the things, like, people, when they come from the diaspora, you're in a rat race, and then people tell you, like, okay, when you get to Africa, things are, you have a higher quality of life, you don't have to work as much. I'm gonna say that's gonna be bullshit, in my honest opinion. I have never worked so hard in my entire life this year. It has been like literally before we did the podcast today, I was asleep, I woke up and the podcast was here. And I went to bed at like 6 a.m. and then I had to get up and then I'm working. Maintain always says, you need to take a break. You're gonna work. You're gonna fight for whatever you get here. Okay? And then in the process, you're not going to be appreciated like you would like to be as if you're in America. Let me tell you this, if you're that kind of person, I brought Wally and Maya here, Miss Trudy, the editors, nobody cares. Okay? So that was me who did that. And us. I'm not saying it because I want recognition, but if you felt like that attitude, oh, well, I'm doing this for the country, I don't get recognized. I don't even care about that anymore. Do what you're supposed to do every day. That's what you can count on, okay? Secondarily is you're gonna be working all the time if you want to make something happen here. That's what it takes. And then getting scammed. That's how you know you've really made it. When you get scammed. Just the other day, we had a popular artist that was supposed to come.
Yeah.
We don't want to call the guy's name.
Why not?
No.
We're not gonna do it.
Why not? Why not though?
No. I've talked to the person or whatever. So I was,
Okay.
Like the guy didn't come. Gave me an excuse why he didn't come. I lost $600 that day, plus whatever. I've been scammed out of thousands of dollars here. Congrats. It's not if you get scammed. It's when you get scammed. Because you're going to get scammed. Like, that's just what's going to happen here, okay? It's okay. Hopefully it's not too much. You know what I mean? Your life savings or whatever. Don't come to Africa, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Brother Phil Scott, African Diaspora. I said, I want to start this Kinganda thing. I think I just started it. Should I continue? He said, do you plan on being in the business for 5 years? I said, I don't know. He said, then don't do it. If you don't think that this is for you, don't waste your time coming. You need to make this a lifetime thing. Don't think about starting the business here. You're going to go back home and let somebody manage you rich. You need to be here. If you want to be, Africa got to be in your blood. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But you got to be here. You're going to deal with all of the stuff. The thing about Uganda doesn't discriminate on bull.
He ain't lying.
It gives to the just and the unjust, the rich and the poor. I always tell in this country, everybody's suffering at some point, right? That's any place in the world. You're gonna go through the bumps and the bruises, but like Johnny said, it gets better. It takes time. This is not the United States or London, and you go through the drive-through. Oh, can I have my success? Yes, please. Number 3, yeah. Go drive through and get it. You're gonna work for it. You're gonna work for everything you get here. If you don't want to work for everything you get here in the new market where people don't know you, proving yourself all over again. Let me talk about that real quick. Wherever you were in America, it doesn't matter. Or in London. You're somewhere else new. You don't know anything. Don't think whatever you learned before it matters here. It don't. You have to relearn everything. Okay? And you have to be an idiot now. Like you don't know nothing. You're in a new place. So you're gonna be building your reputation from scratch. And some of you who've been building your reputation in another country, you might not want to come and do it here, or at least your subsidiary here. But if you have that mindset and you want to come, like this podcast, how long we had Kinganda Channel? 2018? Mm-hmm. This is 2023. We're just now making the strides that we want to make now. It took us 5 years to find everybody we need now, today. 5 years. 5. And we're just now. And we're not even at the surf. We're just now. So that's me coming 19 times. Now, because of this podcast and information here, it's not going to be as hard as it is for us as, that for you. But again, those are the things you need to know. Is this country that you want to be in, whatever it is it in your blood? Can you survive there? Yes. Can you go with the good and the bad? Yeah, there's sunny all the time. The weather's good. The women are looking good. If you're a guy, that's going to be there. But you're going to work your ass off here. Mm-hmm. That is for sure. Death is for certain, and working your ass off in Africa is for sure. If you can't do that, don't come.
Yeah.
Also, your money you think is longer here, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's more expensive to run this business. It costs in many ways more expensive to run it here than in the UK or in America. So think about that also.
Yeah. Speaking of it being expensive to run a business, I think with America, you guys have and the UK, wherever it is, you guys have the credit system. So you're able to access certain things even when you don't have the money for it. Africa is cash based. You need money to breathe in this country. Everything needs money. You need money to do anything. Whatever. If you ever see an African with any asset, they paid cash.
There you go.
They paid cash. I was surprised. Back then, before I understood the credit system, like, oh, you guys actually, I was like, oh, they keep upgrading their phones. Like every time a new phone comes out, someone has a brand new phone. Like, how are they doing that? And they're like, no, they do. There's like a whole payment plan for a phone.
Yeah.
And yet in this country, it's like frowned upon. You're going to buy cash up front.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can either afford it or you can't.
Cannot. Yeah.
It's just that.
Yeah. Straight.
Yeah. Rachel has something to say.
Just to add on to that, some people do not have the necessary requirements, There are more requirements for a foreigner who wants to start business here than a citizen.
Yeah.
So you find that there are some things you're going to be asked, and maybe whoever gave you the advice, or you've watched these YouTube channels and the people did not mention these things, and they're expensive. So just be ready for those things. If you want to hide something, because they do all these background checks and everything. So if there are things you're hiding, you don't want to bring to light, then you're better off not starting a business.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Also, I think some people want to move just to enjoy their money. I've seen some people who just move just to enjoy themselves for
there's a lot of people
5
that
months
come in and retire.
just to do nothing. They have money coming in, maybe a pension or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So there's that. So it's not all about business. Sometimes you can just come. You could relocate to enjoy the country, but even in your relocation, have some sort of value you're adding to your community or to the people that you're meeting.
Let me just say this also. Most people, if you're the person, you have a job, you have a pension. Those people we're not talking about. I'm talking about more or less though people who have those big dreams. I'm going to go become a big CEO in Uganda, Kenya, Ghana. I'm going to take a clothing brand there and things like that. Then I will position this question to you. How well are you in the industry? Are you expert level such that you can teach it to somebody who doesn't know it? Because some people want to come here and you want to become a CEO. You've never ran a company. You don't have any discipline. You're not a big time reinvestor. It's not what you do. You don't build systems. You don't know how to recruit talent. All of which you're the one person that does it when you get here. You're recruiting the talent. You're teaching the business. You're being patient. You're dealing with people that may not have the same level of I won't say work ethic, but let's say standards as where you're from. And when you get profits in the business, if you're lucky enough to get that, what do? Most people are not good business people, although you think you are.
Yeah.
Most of you guys are terrible. I'm just going to be real. Most people are terrible at business. That's in any community. But now what I'm seeing is these guys that are coming from the African-American community, the ones that are doing very well are the ones who are already doing very well in America. Or they adapted that particular skill. So if you're not an expert, how do you expect to teach an industry that is not developed here yet? And do you have enough money for that to develop? So typically somebody has a subsidiary they're starting here. That person's going to do well. Let's say Black Market Records, Cedric Singleton. He's been doing very well for years. So he comes here and starts a subsidiary. He's already good, 20 years in the game. But if you're a person and you're young and you're in the young working age and you're not in retirement phase, you need to earn money to be here. There are a lot of steps. Do you know how to run a business? Do you know how to teach the business? Do you know how to recruit the business? Do you know where to find the business? And then are you firing people too quick? Because that's going to happen. That's one of the big problems in Africa is people fire people too fast and this is not America, and then that person needs some more time to develop. And sometimes you need to bring in people before the business is the next level, so that person's already ready. Like we have one guy here. Shout out to our guy. We want Agre. You started in December, but we wasn't thinking about bringing somebody in December. But I was like, okay, he's here. We won't talk about how he finagled that, but he's here. So, but now when we need him, because we are not at the level now that we were in December. We are much more complex as a business now. So now he can come in and contribute because now the opportunity is already there. But that takes thinking and planning. If you've never been a business owner before, you can't come here and expect that you're going to become a great business owner now. You're going to fall by the wayside. And I've been, like I was saying, so it takes a lot of skills you need to develop before moving into a place that's not America, or it's not Britain, or it's not Luxembourg, or not Europe. So those systems don't work here. So you need to understand that running the business the American way may fail here. Even McDonald's failed in Iceland. Walmart failed in Brazil because you don't understand what you're doing. Those are successful brands. Yeah. So if they can find, if McDonald's can fail in Iceland, who are you thinking that you're going to be successful here when you don't know what you're talking about? This is a 5 to 10 year plan if you've never been here. Can you put 10 years of your life doing this? It'll change your life forever if you can. But can you? If you're not willing to do it, don't start anything here. If you can't commit 10 to 15 years of your life doing it. 5 minimum.
Yeah. Also, the name of the game is consistency.
Hello.
Your income has to be consistent.
Yeah,
Your drive has to be consistent. Your work ethic has to be consistent. Because if you come here and give half-baked energy and half-baked work ethic, I don't think this is the place for you then.
Yeah. The thing is, like, yes, the work is going to be hard and it's going to try you at certain points. But when you're like working for yourself, or if you're working in a place which you feel you're getting more from, it won't even feel like work.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like when you're doing your ebook and your consultations, you're just doing it.
Give you some commission.
Yeah, you're just like when I'm making music and I'm creating playlists for my DJ gigs on the weekend and stuff like that. I'm up hours sometimes, but I don't even notice because it's my passion. It's what I love to do. So you're gonna have to work hard, but because of the magic of this continent and the feeling you get once you're getting somewhere, you won't even feel the hard work. Yeah. So, that's what I'd say.
Well said.
Let me say this. Don't come to Africa for the money or the potential to make money. Like he said, you need to be in an industry such that you can improve what's going on. Because like, I'll tell you this, if you try to come here and start a podcast, I'm going to smash you. That's just what I'm going to embarrass you. No, seriously. I get up every morning.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I'm getting up every morning, every night. My plan is to whatever we are now to take it to the next level because it's personal for me. This is not about making money. This is about I want to whoop your ass. This is all I want to put on my taxes at the end of the year. What? Is I whooped your ass every year. Every breaking moment is what I want. I don't want anything else. I'm here to win. The money will come after that. But if you don't have that desire, you're not going to be here because there's plenty of times I could have left. But I'm here to be good. And I mean, if I understand the industry enough such that I can change it, I'm here to wipe out everybody who is in that industry or make you change it. So if you're coming in to do the same thing that everybody else is doing, another local crime, a shop, it's not going to work.
A boutique. Come
here to love the industry such that you understand it to improve what's going on. But if you can't, somebody like me, I'm here every day to whoop ass. That's all I'm here to do. And I'm going to continue to whoop ass here. So don't come start a podcast because I'm going to embarrass you. But that's how you have to feel about yourself and your ability. You need a lot of confidence to be here. You need excuse my language, big balls to be here. Because you're coming on somebody else's block for the most part. You're setting up what you want to set up. And you have to think like that to do well here because these people are going to, like I said, these people I'm talking about in Africa for the most part. And I'm not saying that as them, as not us, but people who are looking at you as foreigners, they're going to try you.
True.
Yeah.
They're going to try you.
Yeah.
They're going to try you. And they're going to want to see if you got what it takes to be here. And if you don't, you're going to go home. But for me, we are here to whip ass. So feel like you want to be here. You want to change it. You want to work with the people here. If you can't make it here. Yeah.
Well said. I feel like that's the perfect way to end our episode unless someone has something to say. Speak now, forever hold your peace. No offense. But yeah, Maintain, where can the people find you?
Yes, everyone, find me. Maintain on all social mediums, plus on Instagram. Click the link in my bio for my new music.
Okay, thank you. For O'Shea, don't message him or anything like that. But O'Shea, tell the people about the event coming up.
Yeah, so we have an event May 27th. I'm looking at the wrong camera. There's so many of them.
Paparazzi.
Flex.
That's what happens when you reinvest. So anyways, May 27th, Nylox Connection. We're partnering with Nylox Connection. We've had one of the ladies here on our show. We're celebrating Africa Day, so we'll have like performances. It's free if you're in the diaspora. If you happen to be in Uganda, we'll be at Casa de Roy. I think it's 16A Luthuli Avenue.
Luthuli Avenue, Bukolobi.
Yeah.
Bukolobi,
I may actually make an appearance of myself. We'll see how I feel, because I don't like to let y'all know where I'm gonna be, because I want to be signing autographs and stuff like that. But anyways, so come out. We'll have the 360 photo booth thing and the performances and things like that. So Africa Day is typical on May 25th, but we're doing the Africa Day weekend on the 27th. So hopefully we get to see you there. If you're from the diaspora, stop through. It's no charge to get in.
Please do. Pass through.
And
I'll be DJing as well.
We will have security in case y'all are out there playing around. Armed security.
Yeah.
We will put those things on you if we need to. So just letting you know already. So you come in there with the stuff.
But it's going to be it's going to be a beautiful event. Lots of food, lots of drinks, lots of ladies and gentlemen.
A lot of
lots
ladies.
of performances. Maintain will be there DJing, doing his thing. So yeah, guys, come through. You find you'll find all of us there, okay? Everyone on the team will be there. You can interact with us. Well, no, except O'Shea. But you can interact with us, and say hi. Yeah, I'll be there, guys. I will be there. I know I don't go out, but I will be there.
Though.
Midnight will be my but I'll be there. But yeah, guys, reach out to us at teamkenganda@gmail.com if you have any stories or links you want to share with us. Also follow us on all our social media platforms at Kenganda Nation. Follow Kuhani at Kuhani Street and subscribe to the Pan African Dating Show if you want to see her there. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Peace.